everyone. I apologize for the lighting. It's a little dark. There's been a lot of divide in the UFO community over, you get one half saying, the other half are a bunch of narcissists saying, follow me, I have the answers. It's a spiritual enlightenment issue. And then you get the other half who claim to be the masters of it all with all the information. As I said in the video before the last one I uploaded, everybody will understand. I mean, everybody hopefully will come up to a point where they'll understand. I'm not the one who's going to hold everyone by the hand and take them anywhere. It's not down to me. I'm not doing that. And I've often said in many videos, and people don't know me, and I'm not well known. I don't have a lot of following, and I have to kind of, it's like a station identification. I have to kind of stop now and then and kind of spout out my codex about what I'm on about and what I stand for and don't stand for. So I'll make this brief and to the point because of the fact, i.e., there are, very few people that really know who I am, even fewer than that who are even aware of me. And you get some people that subscribe to me and, one or two videos, I'm out of here. It's kind of like the sheep follow the herd. If you happen on a channel of 10, 20,000 subscribers, you're probably going to stick it out. No matter how ridiculous or whatever this person is saying. If you come onto this channel and you get a lot of people that will, it's something I ran across in the past where in my research on, because I dig into those areas of life to try to understand the anatomy of the intelligence community when they go to war with someone who's out trying to say, this is, let's talk about my experience and what I saw. I was in a car, and they go to discredit that person. Especially if the person develops a Twitter account, Facebook page, or a YouTube channel, they will, everybody's online, everybody's on Facebook. They will create fake accounts, and obviously they will attack that person under pseudonym names or not, strange names. But also, they will subscribe and go to friend that person on Facebook, do nothing, say nothing, no interaction, and then if it looks like the target, the individual that they're after is beginning to make some headway or beginning to put a lot of evidence out or beginning to get some kind of a following from some credible people that have subscribed recently, you may get 8 or 9 genuine subscribers who jump in out of about 50 that showed up to his page or YouTube channel. And then all of a sudden, those 50 fake accounts will just unsubscribe and walk away. Now, cleverly enough, what that does is it creates an air of question about what this person's putting out by the genuine handful that showed up. So, it's just little things like that are going on, I've noticed. And I've had people tell me my channel is even hidden, that they've never even seen this. And I've been around since, I've been making videos like this since 2012. 2012, are you serious? And so why go on with it? What are you doing? When I watch certain videos of UFO researchers, without naming names, who go out there and say, we're all about, truth disclosure, science and evidence and data is what's all that matters. I follow that exactly. I believe, I'm all for that. I have no issue with that. When I come across the others who are running around saying, we're the spiritual gurus, we're the ones that, have the answers, follow us, we know what we're doing. I don't follow those people, although I have been branded those people a few times. Now, the thing that I've noticed with some of the hardline UFO researchers is the word experiencer is too much of a subjective, opinionated word for them. It doesn't really encompass any data. So they don't really follow alien abduction phenomena. They don't really follow hypnosis, hypnotic regression. And anybody walking down the street claiming, hey, I was walking home from the store and a UFO landed out down the field and I went out to have a look, and these occupants got out and they all shook my hand and they told me their names are J-Rod, G-Gon, and Hinke or whatever, and they're from some Zeta Reticulan planet, and oh, and by the way, because I met them, for some reason I feel enlightened, or something's going on in my brain. I keep getting things right. Well, this guy's won the lottery 3 times in a row. Is that just a mass coincidence? Well, it's a very Well, where's your evidence? Give us some evidence. Well, I haven't got any evidence. I didn't have any camera or anything with me at the time. Or they might say I had a camera, but it stopped working. In this day and age, data and research is tantamount. It's very important. It must be scrutinized. You must be able to look at something and analyze it. My last video, I'm in the forest. I said after 2 minutes, this being responds to my questions. After 5 minutes, 40 seconds, this being responds to my question. I don't upload words at the bottom of the screen to tell you or prompt you to think that's what's being said. I'm not going to do that. You listen to my forest video, you tell me what you think. That's research. That's data. Okay, now you look at it, you scrutinize it. The gurus, and I agree with the hardline researchers. I say hardline research because they look, I am what some have classed as an experiencer, which means I've had an experience in my life that I remember, I can recall, I can be asked this question repeatedly, I can be drawn into question, I can be interrogated, cross-examined, and come up with the same answer each time. I don't need to be put under hypnosis. It's a memory that came back to me in 2010, 9 years ago. And it's one that I've talked about ever since. And, some have said, well, he's credible in my eyes because he keeps talking about the same thing for 9 solid years. I don't care, or whatever, thank you. I'm credible to you, I'm not credible. I'm not bothered. I have to admit that, and I said this one in the video, I got swept away in my personal feelings about my inner feeling to this being that I interacted with in 1992. And I got so swept away within this memory of the experience and what I feel is the current experience, ongoing experiences with her, a female. And it had an impact on me. It had an impact on me. Yes, it changed my life. Yes, it altered me. Yes, it forever, my output on Facebook, how I spoke, was completely, it would have looked narcissistic. It would have looked like I'm a guru. I'd never liked that. I wanted to speak from the heart how I felt. But I don't want people, I never ever liked people following me. I never liked, I had people come to me, well, give me the answers. What do you think? What do I think about what? Well, I had this experience, and what do you think? I'm like, I don't know what to think. You tell me what you think. Why are you asking me this question? And I have never liked that. I don't have the answers for this troubled world. And I don't believe that my personal connection to this particular being has granted me insightful knowledge to help mankind. And I'm not a messiah. And I'm not anybody like that. So somewhere along the way, 2012, 2013, my sons and I were having experiences. Look, let me leave my sons out of that for a minute, because every time I throw anybody else in the middle of one of these videos, there's this group of people that I have documented, which is observable, and you can get evidence of this, that target people I talk about. If I say John Smith, my best friend, and here he is a picture of him, or here's John Smith, and we've hung out for many years. I've created the name John Smith for an example. And John Smith and I are hanging out, we're best buddies. Then all of a sudden I'm going to get these very cold, cruel, sadistic, monstrous people who have lied, who have pretended to be friends on Facebook, who have pretended a pretense of kindness on YouTube or whatnot, that will, this John Smith will suddenly just disappear. And these hideous people, these really, really evil people, who are wolves in sheep's clothing, will then show up, about a day or two after his disappearance, and he's unfriended me, he's blocked me or whatever, and then cruelly mock me about that. Well, where is he now? Where's your friend now? I'm like, get out of here, you psycho, demon, demonic, whatever I don't hate that word demonic, but get out of here. What's the matter with you? This is evil. Who are you working for? You can talk to me like that. That's not a friend. So don't have him on Facebook. So get rid of that person, get rid of that girl, get rid of that lady. They're very, very dark, sinister people who will then drop hints about your private life, and somehow they know things about you. It's very, really scary stuff. So, like I said, I was going to be talking about that in my videos. I've encompassed a lot of different stuff. Now, you do get people that will genuinely just want to make fun of me, and genuinely think this is all just a big gag, a joke, put on, and run me down. And I don't get blurry about the issue in my head and think, oh, they're all from the same intelligence groups. From my perception, how I'm looking at my life, how I look at things, everything has to be fact-based and backed up by some evidence to tell me that. I don't say, my opinion is what counts, and I don't ask you to follow my opinion. When I'm able to get in the forest, now I'm a big talker. I will make videos, and a lot of times I'm speaking to 3 people, if I'm lucky, maybe 2. On Facebook, there's about, so many people on my Facebook page, and I might get, out of 1,500 to 2,000 people on Facebook, I might get 1 like, maybe an interest in something I said. A lot of times people are telling me I never saw that post, I'm like, and this is Facebook, and I'm like, how did I get that wrong? I know I've been there a while. I don't want YouTube. I appreciate, whatever support I'm getting, but at the end of the day, be careful about saying that, Jason, because when you say those words, here come the avalanche of anti-support and people running it down and making fun. I don't understand that. I mean, if I were sitting here saying I'm Jesus Christ, or I'm one of the disciples, I'm Paul the Apostle and his reincarnate, or I'm I could understand some of that. I've shared memories of, I know they feel like memories from my childhood, where, and it's even to this day, 40 years on, I'm 47, that I can still go back and recall very clearly these memories. It's in the exact sequence. They're not dreams I had as a kid. It's something that is there. I can remember being in a body that wasn't human. It was reptilian. And I can remember, being in some place that looked like something like the Jurassic or Cretaceous era. I'm not suggesting it was Earth's history. I remember. I say the words I remember. I remember that. Is that subjective? Well, why would it be? 40 years on, I can still sit here and... There's a photograph taken in 1979 that I have. And back in the time before digital photography was around, and I was a child, and my grandmother took a picture of me when I was a little boy, about 7, 8 years of age, and standing in front of a sliding glass door. And I'm holding a pie plate, which I've taken out these sunglasses. I've taken the lenses out of sunglasses similar to these, very large, and I taped them to the pie plate, and I was very proud of this thing I made. And because it resembled these reptilian beings in my dreams that had large black eyes that were helping me. In the window behind me, in that 1979 photo, is in fact one of those beings peering into the window. It's on my Facebook page. I've got it copied in several places. The negative of this film exists. It's very, very impressive piece of something. I mean, this was before digital photography was around, 1979. And there would be no reason for a boy and his grandmother to go out and fake alien stuff in 1979. still opens and raises a lot of questions. Now, a lot of the what I call hardline researchers, I call them hardliners because they're the ones that would say everything I'm saying is just full of opinion. It's just really not backed with any data. We don't really follow the so-called experiencers. Though I have a lot of respect for these people, I do agree with the direction they're trying to take the ufology world, where they're trying to go with this. And then throughout my life, I've had these what I have to call experiences, because I know I can remember it. I can write it down, and I don't have to force it or conjure it up. It's in my mind. Equally with the memories of the births of my sons and the day I was married, my divorce. There's the death of pets I've had. My time in basic training in the Army. It's something that though those memories can be verified, these memories, I know they're memories. I can't verify that or this. I can sit there and say, well, there's a photograph of 1979. I can say I had dreams as a child of seeing these beings with big eyes. But what's supporting that would be a 1979 photo of something peering in the window. Open for scrutiny. There it is. I totally agree with you. Data and scrutiny, objectivity is very important. The problem is that, a lot of the hardliners are running away from the experiencers and beginning to distance themselves from us too much. I think because there isn't a codex, a kind of an SOP manual that they want to follow that says what defines an experiencer as opposed to a nutcase, a narcissist, a psychopath, a sociopath, or someone just seeking attention or trying to become a messiah, or I'm the one with the answers because I've talked to aliens. They don't want to deal with that anymore. So they're trying to shut the door on genuine experiencers, and I think they're making a mistake. You know who you are. Again, I do apologize for the dark room. Hold on a minute. I'll try to get some light here. I've got a little bit of an issue with a light bulb. I would urge and encourage you UFO researchers out there who have a huge following, who are trying to distance yourselves from some of the guru spiritual narcissists, that you need to be careful. 1 minute. My apologies about that. At the moment I'm having some issues with lights, so I'm having to turn on a video player. I can't say what video is in there or anything like that. It's just family film. But you start turning your backs on genuine people, a lot like myself. Well, what makes me genuine? Well, I'll tell you, a genuine experiencer, if you've got any contact with aliens, then scientifically you could argue that you should continue to have some kind of contact that can be documented in some form or fashion, i.e. implants. Dr. Lear was involved in that, things like this. So I'm a firm believer. If you have contact with aliens and they've been involved in your life in any way at all, you're going to have evidence of it going on in your life. You should be able in this digital age to collect something to be examined. And I would encourage you to do that. Go out there and try to get something, because you're going to get drowned out and called a spiritual nutcase. Try to collect any evidence that you can. Don't hand it to me. I appreciate people handing me videos. Thank you. I will look at them. I will take the time to comment on them and examine them as best I can. Right now I'm a bit limited on equipment at the moment in my life. I've had some equipment break. I've had some equipment that's just not here. So I'm a very, very limited person, but I do the best I can. I went to the forest with what I have. You use what you got. You don't need high-dollar advanced equipment to get a photo or video of yourself, do you? I mean, look at me. Here I am. I can put this on YouTube. And there's evidence of me sitting here in this chair. They're either there or they're not. I don't believe you need a camera worth thousands to collect evidence of UFO or alien or contact with extrabiologic entities in the forest. They're either there or they're not. And you can get EVPs, electronic voice phenomena recordings, from EBEs, extra biologic entities. You don't need high-dollar digital recorders. You don't need that. Okay, they're either there or they're not. The evidence is either going to support this with your equipment that you have or not. In fact, I believe firmly that the cheaper, the less advanced the equipment used, and you obtain evidence, the more credible that evidence is going to be. Why? Because if you show up to the field with extremely advanced technological equipment, the argument being that, well, that's equipment that can be used for gimping, editing, softwaring, and overlaying, and this guy could do this and this with that. Look, he showed up with a very expensive camera, and he got that kind of evidence. And anybody could argue, hey, and then he went back to his house with an expensive computer and an expensive software and edited this and made something out of that. If I'm getting any evidence of all of anyone talking in my last video in the forest, and you hear this in response to my questions, okay, and it's a female, and you hear her talking, that's Beniko, okay, that's her. And if you're getting that and you're hearing this, you're picking that up, take note of that, because that was done with very low-tech, low-income technology, standing in that very forest where pictures and other videos and recordings have been taken. And they've been taken where I live, in conjunction with UFO sightings, which I have gone to the depth to try to get and collect very quickly when there's a sighting, grab that on camera, grab it on video, because I like to contribute to the body of knowledge of people doing this research. As an experiencer, I feel duty-bound to help support other experiencers who feel rather isolated psychologically and cut off and very much alone in their extraordinary experiences, in which they feel nowadays they're not being listened to. It's very, very sad to me that I know he would have been very old if he had lived. But Dr. John Mack, I know a lot of people don't agree with Bud Hopkins, that these people are dead, and so many others are gone, that yes, they would have said the same thing. Try to get some evidence along with, you know, what we're going to try to come up with and hypnosis with you. But at least they took the time to try to separate the wheat from the chaff, as it were, from the experiencers. But again, the problem being that the experiencers are now being drowned out by the narcissistic, follow me, I'm the Jesus, I'm the guy, I'm the answers. I don't know that alien contact in the 21st century is going to become the great thing for mankind. You know, in the conversations with Beniko, I'll be flat honest with you. The dead opposite is happening in the future. And I have said this before, and if you don't know me and you've just subscribed, she did say to me in 1992, and she has repeated that point, that the future that she can see, that they can come back in time from, there is a great pandemic plague that wipes out a lot of the human race. And they were racing to try to save the survivors. It's only really about this time that contact becomes an issue, that it begins to open up. Other than that, there really wasn't going to be any contact with anybody. And they were holding, what they were holding against us was things like Treblinka and Auschwitz and things like that. You could argue, well, that was the Nazis, that was the Germans. Well, I'm not German. They're looking, she's like, well, we're looking at you saying, well, what's the difference? How do you distinguish yourself from a German or a Nazi or Jewish person from a black guy? We're just looking at you as the Homo sapien, you're a human race. You're all the same. And no, they weren't going to have the contact. There is going to be contact, and sadly it may have to come after a great period of a lot of death. Which we're talking about timelines. I don't want to go down that road. I don't want to make a long video. But I don't know if that's been averted. I don't know. And if it has been, I don't know about it. I know that it was that there was a discussion of alternate timelines. If it's averted, it's not because aliens averted it. And what is Beniko? Well, by definition, an alien-human hybrid. And a civilization now calling themselves the Sasani. Well, that's very guru there, Jason. Well, again, I ran away from that. I don't want to go down that road. I am more than happy to present evidence to you and go to the forest and take the time. If you think it's funny, if it sounds silly, if it looks like a big goddamn joke, this guy standing in the woods doing that sort of thing, I'd rather be poked at and laughed at for trying and making an attempt to capture what I know is going on, and I have heard her and seen her, and I have met her before, than not do it. Okay, I would rather do that. I would give anything if she could sit in front of this camera and talk to you instead of me sitting here. I would love it if she was here in this seat. I would love it if her people allowed her to sit in the conference, and I'll be in the audience. I'll shut up and listen to her. I would love to sit there. I'm not even going to say sit on stage with her. Why? So I can become some celebrity? I've turned down conferences in the past. I've been invited. Believe it or not, the first few years I was talking about this. A lady in London who ran a large organization, very respected to her, won't name names, invited me to a London UFO conference and gave me 2 hours to talk to these people, a body of people. And I thought, 2 hours? I can talk about my experience in 10 minutes. What am I going to be saying for the next, hour and 45 minutes? I can see how that would invite a lot of... And if this is a large room of people, well, I can see how the UFO community it can... You get these well-known researchers like that woman and her partner who had a lot of money and backing, that this can invite a lot of ego inflation and narcissism. And that's right! Come forward! Why have you come before the magnificent Oz, the benevolent Oz, and knows your request? I have spoke to the aliens. I'm getting a message now. I want all these virgins to have sex with me. Write to me at this address and come to my compound. You must buy my special elixir. Here it is. It is Igamene. Just send $39,999. This special droplet material, if you put on the tongue, will help you in your mantras. And I, with my knowledge of all beings and my knowledge alone, in Jesus' name and in Buddha's name, will now help you for your understanding. I have said words like I have said this. I have said, your conscious awareness. It is about understanding something in a higher sense. If you know physics or have ever involved in physics, and I'm an amateur, it's the same thing. It does raise your conscious awareness when you're looking at dimensional geometry, geometric physics, fourth dimensional, hyperspace, tesseract, physics, things like this, in its connection to quantum mechanics, hypervelocities, speed of light, things like this. When it really is it's a mind opener. Take a course in physics. Don't follow my videos. Just take a course in physics. You'll get just as much enlightenment. Okay, that's science. It's not spiritual, but it is a mind opener. Okay, mathematics is a beautiful language, and it is an enlightenment. Mathematics. Okay, and if you can prove something in an equation, you have rationalized something in an equal equation. You've accomplished something. It's a real sense of accomplishment. And science isn't against this concept of, is there an afterlife? It's not against the idea that science is somehow black and white and has nothing to do with, is there a consciousness beyond the body? When there's neuroscientists that have put papers out saying, look, I'm a brain doctor, I've worked on a lot of people, there's an afterlife, there's some existence beyond the body, and it's been documented by a lot of people. And that is physics. So I don't know. Some of these hardline researchers are kind of docking down the idea of anything to do with, dare I say the word, spirituality. Well, I don't like that word either. I'm more a fan of evidence-based research. Yes. Um, I think the word spiritual or spirituality is a very lay term for some form of physics that's yet it's just beginning to understand and wake up to. Again, like I said, not everything that's coming down here is entirely nut and bolt physical, but it can be documented. And doesn't mean everything that's not coming across as very physical is a dead person, is not, to ignore that. We want a physical body. You can still document this. You can talk to them. But again, you have to have a rather open scientific mind, and I mean that. I do mean that, because otherwise you get these people that say, that girl I heard in your recording, J.P. Moss, is a demon. That's a devil. And I'm like, no, she is not any kind of a demon. There is a technology we don't understand, and it would come across as magic to our primitive society. I don't understand it, and I'm not going to be given that information. And even if I did, I wouldn't share it with you, because what would it do to me in my life? Well, again, I'm in front of those conferences with a big robe. I am here to tell you, look, data's important, but I'm a little more free and a little more broad-minded in the sense, let's not keep a closed mind here, Richard. And I like you. I'm not going to name your last name, but let's keep an open mind. There is no need to close the door on genuine experience. You're talking about genuine disclosure. What is genuine experiencers? I would ask you and your wife to try to define that if you're seeing these videos. What is a genuine experiencer? What's a genuine experiencer? How do you define that? What is a genuine experiencer? Okay? And it will take a body of evidence to bring to bear on that. It does take, you have to kind of, well, you said you had this photograph from 1979. What else do you have to back? Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of people anymore that want to take alleged alien implants out of people. Not that I'm claiming I have any or I'm aware of any. I don't have all the answers, and I don't want them. And even if I did, I won't share them. Because I don't think it's relevant. I think what's relevant is that, as I said in my videos, bring you what I have. You decide for yourself. Okay? And you make up your mind what you think. And you can either say that's something or it's absolute crap, it's nothing. I just didn't hear that, JP. I don't know what you're on about. There's nobody in that recording. Well, okay, at least I put it out there. I made an effort. And, I may have heard it. You didn't hear it. Fair point. If you've got the technology to enhance it and listen to it, by all means, open it wide open. Have a listen. But again, I have to say that this being has given me strict, it's like I've been told, don't share everything. And there's a reason for that. It's nothing to do with mankind or the future of the earth. And one day we'll share this if you buy no. Because it's very personal. And it would be like akin to, taking, hey, let's talk about your personal relationship with your wife. What are you doing in your bedroom at night, Really? How was that? How long did you go for? It's rather personal. It is a personal relationship. It's something that, I get a lot out of this relationship, this contact with her. Now, that doesn't mean to say that, because I said that and I made that point and you heard something before, that you have to believe any of that. I don't know. You don't have to, and I don't like to say that to you. You believe what the hell you want. I'm gonna make like 20 videos where I talk stupid and rant away, and I am gonna present the evidence. Like I said, I'm building up my equipment again. I have some equipment that is damaged, broke. I don't have the equipment I had before, so I'm having to build that back up again. No, don't send me money. I'm not asking for that. That's my responsibility, not yours. In any case, because I'm going to do it on my own, and I'm going to be completely funding myself, and I don't want any help, adds to the integrity and credibility of what I'm going out to do. Why is that important? Well, I care about everybody, and I think as long as I'm alive, I'm here. I'm gonna, and she allows it. I'm gonna say, well, look, this is the evidence I have of her existence, and how do you know she's an alien human hybrid? Well, she tells you so. Well, okay. Whatever pictures, photographs, in connection and conjunction with UFO sightings, the timing of those recordings with her adds to some body of scientific evidence to support her claim that she's an alien human hybrid. It's borderline subjective with some opinion. I don't like that, but I'm going to provide it as best I can. And again, like I said, if you catch the recordings with the sightings, you put this on video, you have this out there, you have something worth examining and taking serious note of if you're a researcher. And I think that's important. Whether she thinks so, she may have this, she doesn't ask me, you must present this to the public and tell them about your enlightenment and blah, 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 blah. No. While I'm here in this world with you, I'm all game. Let's present something that can help add to the body of knowledge for other people. Because I'm sensitive about other people. I care about these people. Their compassion in the field of ufology means something to me. Because I care about the genuine experiencers, genuine disclosure people. Everybody means something to me. And generally, the human race as a whole. But I'm not going to change the human race, and I don't think you're going to. I'm going to help you create a perfect society. I've solved your problems. Your problems are too complex for any alien race to fix it for you. It's a lot of you are a lost cause. You just forget it. All right, just forget about it. All right, just don't worry about it. It ain't gonna happen. I can say all day long, please get along with everybody. Let's not be racial. Let's not be like this. Let's not be like that. But at the end of the day, you're not going to get anywhere. It's not going to change. I'm sorry. It's hopeless. You want the truth? Well, how about, that's not, it's a fact. It ain't going to change. This being, Beniko, may have a different opinion. That's going to be more optimistic than what I'm saying. And she'll talk about timeline mergings and time travel amongst their civilization. I don't know. I don't follow that too much. I can repeat things, but I think it's more important if I get it on recording. So my last video, I'm in the forest, and there's this area in the forest that I have found through research to have a lot of paranormal activity. Beings and entities and things have been seen there. And they all seem to have this, people have a tree down there they call fairy tree. The children go down there in this local culture here in England. They decorate the tree with ornaments because for decades people have seen stuff. Now, the danger. I've admitted where I'm at. There's already a tree that fell down. So in the video I'm asking, what's the significance of this? Is this you, or has someone done that? Very curious. Is it somebody coming down there to destroy this forest or set fire to it or try to put an end to this? But I think it should be pointed out that even if the forest were gone, it wouldn't make any difference. This is something that's there. It's there. It's not something that can be, I quoted an example, sphere momenti. Well, it's sort of a subjective opinion, spiritual, guranic term. It contrives a story, if you will, a narrative of some kind of an ancient gate that we don't see, set down by an ancient race long ago. The only reason I seem to kind of resonate with that is because we're talking about interdimensional geometric physics, high energy physics, and geometric shapes of higher dimensions that we aren't going to be able to understand. So again, the great example being the flat 2D square on a flat plane with a cube that shows up, and this three-dimensional cube simply sits down on that surface of that two-dimensional world. It's only going to look like a single pinpoint. It's going to look like a small dot sitting there next to that two-dimensional square, and that's all it's going to perceive of this, is one little tiny dot. And the little tiny dot spews out lots of information and says, I am a larger thing. I don't get that. Well, really, where? And so two-dimensional squares, like, why does everyone keep picking on us flatlanders with these examples? Please stop picking on us with your mind-boggling examples. We don't get how to go up. We don't know what down is. We're just two-dimensional. We just left, right all day. When we're going to dance, left, right, left, right, left, right. Backwards, backwards, left, right, left, right. And so the mind-boggling three-dimensional beings, leave us alone. Stop picking on us with your weirdness. When the three-dimensional cube falls down flat, it becomes like this, looks like a two-dimensional square to the other square. And so it may say something like, you're inhabiting a point in my forest somewhere, as far as I can understand that. But exactly what do you look like? Or what is, and now the three-dimensional cube is something like a gate. Well, you're only going to perceive that gate in the sense of a square if it's laying flat. You're not going to see the full size of this thing, and you won't be able to if it's a higher dimensional object. And in any case, it may not be perceptible in the sense of touching physically or seen with eyes. Now that's theoretical physics. That's not spiritual. Any higher dimensional object may be something that would be imperceptible by three-dimensional senses, eyes, ears, skin. I can touch it, I can walk into it. So why do I go on about that so much? Well, because there is a lot of activity out there that is not human, doesn't have a human prefecture. It's not something that really is very human. Pictures, videos, descriptions of these mantid-looking creatures, Beniko and her bunch, UFO sightings around the forest, don't come across as the connotation of a human connection at this point. So we talk about the Bermuda Triangle, the Devil's Triangle, the sightings of UFOs going back to Christopher Columbus. There were people back in his time that saw craft flying under the water at high speed that were glowing. It's extremely important to keep an open mind that when dealing with physics in this area of science, you are not dealing with spiritual guru stuff. And I don't want to be confused with that crowd. Please listen to me very carefully. If you're going to watch my videos, please, please, please take careful note to what I'm saying about the connection between theoretical physics and these experiences and the connection to EBEs. This is very, very important stuff, okay? And I always encourage people, go get the research yourself. Follow how I did this. How did I come to this conclusion that forest happened to be a location? Was it my divine connection with my mind and my... I am Chakra. My name is Chakra. I am Chakra. You have come to the channel of Chakra. I was given the information through a telepathic connection. And my divine higher being told me that you must come to me to stand in this forest and receive this information divinely. Oh, no, okay. It was because I followed paper trails. I heard locals talk about what's in the forest. I went into this location because of the fact the trees are very old. Because in England there's lots of folk tales and stories of fabled legends of beings called fairies seen around these locations with lights in the sky that go back to the 1500s. Paintings and drawings match this. So also there is Google Earth images, my EVP recordings, PSP 7 box recordings of the voices that came through told me that location. Compasses, electronic equipment, satellite imagery, some intuition, if I can throw that in. All of this culminates into, and you don't believe in it, ley lines happen to be a bad one for a lot of UFO researchers, hardliners. Ley lines, really, Jace? Well, there is scientific evidence that not all of the Earth is north-south in its magnetic field, up, down, longitude, latitude. It's a nice line like this along the Earth. When I talk about ley lines, what I'm saying is I'm here in England, so it wouldn't be like from north to south we have these nice smooth magnetic lines. That's not what happens in real life in science. The Earth has curvature, there's contours, there's the ocean, there's mountains, there's valleys, there's different kinds of minerals and elements everywhere. You will get, in certain parts of the planet, areas where those magnetic lines that come down are running even horizontal of each other, diagonal of each other. The compass needles will back that up. You can fly over parts of the Bahamas and your compass will spin. You want evidence? It's that simple. So ley lines is a very real thing. The problem is, it got picked up by the spiritual groups, who then started to say ley lines were connected to psychic energy forces of the chakra of the energy field of Jesus and angels and seraphims, and that threw it off, and everybody just ran off and said this is all pseudoscience. But in fact, there is a science to that. That the electromagnetic field of the Earth is not a convenient line that runs straight down to the South Pole, back up again, nice, neat lines like that. They don't do that. In space, you might get that outside the planet. These exomagnetic fields, but not necessarily at ground level, at the troposphere level, down the ground level. What you may get is a lot of these lines that come straight to north-south are going to be running in parallel, diagonal. They're going to be intersecting with each other. And in some places where there's cell phone towers, the intersections are really, really bad off. You've got lines running. You can use a compass needle. There's lots of electronic devices to back up where these lines are running. You can take a digital compass like the one I've got. You can sit there and map it out on a map. It's painstaking. You can sit there and see bizarre things like north-south running east-west at this point. The magnetic fields are running, and they do intersect and create this vast intersection where there's a nexus point somewhere in the center. And where these lines, electromagnetic fields, are intersecting, creating a nexus, a point where everything crosses at the dead center. Yes, I have found in my research there is a lot of activity that goes on in that area. Lights are seen. Light balls are seen, different colored. Is it just a natural phenomenon of the Earth? Well, they've reacted intelligently to requests and responses. I have recorded them speaking English. They understand English. I have recorded them identifying themselves as being from other places, other areas of reality, things like this. And I've got videos and pictures of beings sitting there that don't look human in those areas. So the forest I'm in now is another, please bear with me on this, ley line intersection, okay? And it wasn't through psychic connection that I was guided there. After I rode in on a donkey with 7 virgins in veils with incense, my crystal chakra, it was a crystal that told me that this is the thing. I don't discount psychic phenomena as being a genuine research, a phenomena to research. There's even CIA declassified documents that talk about that, that go on about remote viewing and things like this. So research in the field of this area is very important. Again, it's all physics. It's not spiritual. It's about the mind, its consciousness, energy, connection of the different types of fields of energy, and how the brain interprets information when it's not using eyes and ears. Information, technology, communication, things like this, without the use of devices for this communication. I don't know. It's all very interesting stuff. Anyways, thank you for watching this. It's gone now 50 minutes. I know. Thank you for watching the video.